Alright, welcome back to Plastic Models by Regular Dude and the completed Tamiya M8 Greyhound armored car, kit number 35228. It is done. If you've been following along, everything went together great, no problems. Everything fit very well. The one thing that you'll want to take note of and not make the same mistake I did is I like to paint my wheels, or I like to paint the vehicle before the wheels are attached. And so I assembled all the hull and everything and did not allow myself or make allowance for the wheels going into position. Because once this is on, these will not go into place unless you cut off the end of the axles, the part that goes into the poly sleeves in the wheel. So it was no big deal, and I was able to do it, and that was my mistake. So it's just something to keep in mind if you like painting your vehicles that way. But anyway, other than that, everything went together perfectly. There was no fit issues at all. Everything worked out really nice, and I have to say I had an enjoyable time building this kit. I used my usual bag of tricks on this one. I used Tamiya paint for the hull color, which is XF62, and then for everything else I used kind of a mixed bag. I use I use Vallejo paints to do the hand painting and the tools, and I think this is my second kit, or first whole kit using Stynel Res primer, and I have to say that I really like it. And just listening to some reviews on it, it sounds like it can be tricky at times, but I didn't have any problems at all. I used my regular pressure. I didn't do anything special. The only item that I used differently this time, a new item, is the Ultimate Weathering Wash by Ultimate Weathering Products. I used the light dirt. It is a clay-based wash, and I wanted to try a clay-based wash just because seeing some stuff online about it, and I have to say it really works out well. I demonstrated it in one of the earlier videos, so if you didn't see that and you'd like to, it's in the prior video to this one. But it worked out great. For the decals, I used the kit decals for the small stuff, but I used Archer dry transfers for this part on their it's not actually a decal film, but it's a wet media film or something like that, and you basically do it like a decal, but you can only do one solid piece, because basically all it's doing is putting an adhesive type stuff on the back of this, so it wouldn't work for stuff like this. Yeah, the other modification I made that wasn't kit supplied were these casting numbers here. I also demonstrate that in one of my earlier videos, because on the real vehicles they had casting numbers and letters on the upper part of the turret right behind the mantlet. There's also some on the mantlet here. I don't know if you can see them, but I wanted to add that just for that little bit of realism. I don't know if they're exactly to scale to the real deal, but you know, it gets the job done, and I demonstrated that in an earlier video as well. I added a musette bag here for the driver, or the commander figure, and I did add a figure. I normally don't do figures because, you know, I'm not that great at it, but I'm not going to get better without practicing, so looks a little wonky in spots, but it gets the point across. But fit was great. Typical Tamiya kit, not too many parts, and it worked out really well. As you can see, it's got interior detail, and also inside of the vehicle here. Hopefully you can see it. Let me see if I can position my light a little bit better. But I had a personal item here for, you know, a crew member. I added control / hydraulic lines, whatever. There's lines running on the inside of the vehicle I added those. I also added, you can't see it unless you really look, but I added the foot pedals for the accelerator, clutch, and brake down inside of here, as well as some extra boxes. I mean, you can't even see them, but I did them anyway. Weathered up the inside really well. Used did the decals on the inside from the Archer set on the various boxes inside and on the dashboard. I was going to use decals, but I ended up just painting that, and it turned out really nice. So that's pretty much it. That is the M8 armored car by Tamiya. And again, I have to say that it fit together really well. There's nothing to really look out for other than, you know, mistakes like I made with the wheels. Muddied up the bottom. Could have done a little bit more around the edges, but you know, I may add that later. But I just, since it sits so high off the ground, if someone were looking at it, I'd want to be able to see some filth going on. So that's it. That's the M8 Greyhound. Thanks for following along on this build. I had a good time building it like usual. Discovered a new item, a new weathering product, I should say, and like the way it turned out. So, you know, as far as the weathering. So if you have any questions, comments, critiques, anything you'd like to say, please add them to the comments section below. And as always, thank you for watching Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and I will see you all later.